Thank you for joining the Friends I View Spoilers. My name is Shaun.
I don't see record. Oh,
you're saying?
Got it. Now I'm recording. Good.
No,
Let's go now.
Thank you.
No, I know. I said, but it usually gives me a thing that says, "Hey, you're being recorded," and I usually hit "got it," and it didn't come up.
Oh, fair enough.
We're good now. We're good now.
So we're doing a movie, okay, called The School for Good and Evil. So Jose, before we start this, how did you rate this, man?
Hello, everyone. I was gonna go high at first, but as much as I love a movie between good and evil and vice versa, I had to just go with a 7.5. I was torn between 7 and 7.5, but I'm gonna go 7.5 because I like the movie a lot. But for me, it was predictable. That's why I rated it a little bit lower, because of the predictability.
No, yeah, we're going to talk about that because I thought that it had some levels to it, especially at the beginning.
Yes.
That were unpredictable. I gave it an 8.
Okay.
I would definitely watch it multiple times.
Yes.
It's probably not one I would search out for, so it obviously couldn't do 9.
Gotcha.
But it is one I would watch again.
Yes, definitely. I would.
What they surprised me on is when it first started out, I thought within the first few minutes, I thought I knew who the protagonist was. I thought it was Sophie. I thought Sophie was they started it off. Obviously they started off with the fighting scene, which was cool because it kind of gave a backstory.
Yes.
To kind of how the school started, which I thought was good because you needed that.
Yes.
And considering that Ali Khan was actually also the antagonist, like there was really 2 antagonists.
Yep.
It was Sophie and Ali Khan, which was kind of a unique thing. Usually there's only one antagonist,
Yeah.
So Ali Khan was really the antagonist, but like they were kind of in it together. You know what I'm saying? By the end of the movie,
Who was Ali Khan?
The dude in red. I think his name is Ali Khan, the dude in red.
Oh no, that was Rafal.
Raval, yeah, Raval.
Yes. Okay. I was like, what? I was like, what movie did you see? But yes.
Yeah, Raval, whatever his name. Yeah. I thought it was Ali Khan. I remember. Yeah, but it was just, they were twin brothers. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like the only way you would really know one from the other was one was blue, one was red.
Yes. Yeah.
But Agatha became the protagonist.
Yes.
So I thought that was obviously the problem was good versus evil, and obviously the stop.
You know what was a good twist about protagonist?
Yeah.
Was when Sophie was turning evil, and we'll get into it during the acts, and she turns to Agatha and says, "Agatha, the protagonists are speaking."
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, and that was actually one of the interesting ideas that I was going to say that they did good. But I definitely like that dialogue because it was very, it was a unique way to do that because it just kind of come out. But like,
I thought you would get a kick out of that because
I definitely heard it. I definitely heard it, and I liked that. What I liked was when they went into the inciting event, which was when Sophie made a wish. So that would normally be done by the protagonist,
Yes.
But what they ended up doing was they ended up dragging Agatha into that life because of that decision.
Yes.
And I thought that was a unique way of doing it because the protagonist wasn't the one initiating the event.
Yes.
The event was initiated by Sophie.
Exactly. Yeah.
But because
that was pretty good. Yeah.
No, they really caught me off guard, especially when they were dropping them off at the schools, because you had that conflict of Agatha didn't even want to be here.
Yes.
Sophie wanted to be here, but you had the double conflict of Sophie thought that she belonged in the good side,
Yes.
but she was obviously in the bad school, whereas Agatha was in the good school.
Yes.
And I thought that was quite a twist because like I said at the beginning, I definitely, especially with her little dream of being a princess and everything.
Yes.
So I'm like, so Sophie's the protagonist. And then you're going to go ahead and tell me that she is not. And not only, but you made it make fucking sense. Especially when you start looking at them going to the school.
Yes.
The longer they're in the school, you realize there was no mistake on which school that they were put.
Yeah.
Agatha was a good person.
Yeah.
She showed it multiple times, her goodness. Whereas Sophie, she was not a good person. She was self-centered and
and she wanted to attract the boys' attention, trying to get her into the good school. That was just her objective, was to kiss a boy, find true love, and be in the good school. And that made her,
Now, what was even
made her selfish.
What was even crazier about that is they gave her a chance and were like, hey, look, you do the trial by tales.
Yeah.
And you find each other, you kiss, and then everything will be good, right? And you'll be back in the good school. Well, what does she do? When the princess or prince, which is, was his name, Taros or?
Yes. Tedros.
Tedros.
Yes.
It's actually Prince Arthur, which is funny because we just talked about that.
Yes.
Prince Arthur's son and has Excalibur. And he's about to die because this protector in this garden is about to kill him, the short person. And Agatha's like, just toss him because he no longer has Excalibur with him. She's like, grab Excalibur, give him Excalibur. And she literally just sits there and watches him almost die.
Yeah.
And then when Agatha finally rescues him, gives him Excalibur so he could fight the guy off.
Yes.
Her reasoning behind this was princesses do not save princesses. Princesses.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
yeah, you're right. And I sat there, I saw it as two different things. I saw it as it could have been that, yes, but it also could have been that, she knew that, or she just froze out of fear as well. Because if she's supposed to be good, then some people, they kind of are scared to actually confront evil. That's how I saw it as well. So maybe I was just reading a little bit too into it.
No, I mean, it's all interpretation. I saw it as Sophie being an asshole, okay? Because in truth, I mean, who's going to sit there and let somebody almost die for them?
Exactly.
Knowing there's a perfectly good magical sword here, one that has a legend that is carried through time, called Excalibur, created by Merlin.
Yes.
Most powerful sorcerer ever known as far as like stories go. You're just gonna sit there and just let him get his ass beat, and not that means you were in the right fucking school.
Yeah.
And then Agatha, went in there because you're not supposed to help Sophia or Tedros, but Agatha was so good of a person that as soon as she's heard Sophia being in trouble, she's like, this is my sister, my friend.
Yes.
This is her friend. I have to risk everything, especially in the school, because there were these crazy rules in the school. I mean, you saw it. Like, if you felt like that one kid fell through 3 courses or 3 tests, got turned into the skeleton that brings people to the school,
The bird, yes.
So, I mean, they kind of have this fucked up way. And then, like, even in the pond, these kids that failed or whatever were turned into fish.
Yes.
Like, not returned back home, not given back to their parents.
Yeah.
So So she's like, knowing all that's going to be risked by helping her, she's like, fuck it. I gotta help my friend.
Yeah, and and I saw that as well. All the interesting concepts that they did about not allowing the kids to return if they failed, and turning him into something else in order to help the other children or the other school attendees with their wishes and their story. It was I found that to be interesting. I said, but at the same time, I kind of was like, it's a good versus evil, evil versus good. I think both have to exist in order for it to be a balance of power, I would think.
I mean, you even saw that in the ending.
Yeah.
In the climax, after they defeated Ali Khan, the good or bad didn't disappear. They came together because one cannot exist without the other.
Exactly. But for me, they when I first started watching it, because they harped upon them both being witches and Agatha's character, the way she was dressed, the way she acted, the way she had her hair versus the way Sophie had her hair, she seemed to be the evil one and Sophie the good one, especially with the dream. But then as I started going on and progressing with the movie, I said, okay, now that's why I said the predictability. I said, okay, so obviously Agatha's the good one and Sophie's going to turn out to be the bad one, and which was the case. Because sometimes when I see things, I kind of also look at what other people say. Like, for example, Carrie, Charlize Theron's character, Lady Lesso, she says to Sophie, it's not what we are, it's what we do.
Yeah.
And then the Yuba, the gnome, he said, only the best evil can disguise as good.
Yes.
So it's leading me to believe that because Sophie was adamant that she's so good, can she be very evil? But that's like all of us. And I saw a lot of life's lessons in that movie as well.
No, absolutely. Yeah, because like
Sophie, people can do evil things.
Yeah, like none of Sophie wasn't like there's definitely parts in there as an antagonist. She did some really bad things, obviously.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the good things about it was, and I think one of the messages that was in it was, it's not so black and white.
Yes.
Because they kind of made it black or white, like you're good or you're completely evil. None of the characters in there, with the exception of Raval was pure evil. I mean, he killed his brother,
Yes.
I mean, and he was trying to kill everybody, which is really kind of where it ended.
An evil thing to do.
Yeah, it's a pretty evil thing to do. But all the other characters in there, they weren't like Tedros. Tedros wasn't really an all good guy. He was kind of a dickhead.
Yeah.
And he did some fucked up things too.
Yes.
But, they held him as kind of the Prince Charming, character. Whereas, Sophie, she did some fucked up things. Did she also do some really great things? Yes. Like in the ending, like in the climax, she sacrificed herself to save
her best friend,
Agatha.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of interesting because this whole movie, she's looking for the love's true kiss.
Yes.
And Agatha gave her a kiss as a friend.
Yes.
And that was the true love's kiss because they actually had true love for each other.
Yeah, through their friendship. Yeah.
It's what saved her life. I did really like the little happy ever after kind of thing.
Yes.
Because you saw a couple of things. They said she would change the world, which is what her mother told Sophie.
Yep.
Before she died or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They did, in fact, change because, like, she was staying with her relatives, and they were clearly assholes at the beginning of
Yes.
I
got that too.
They did not like Sophie too much.
Yeah.
Um, and then by the end of the movie, they actually embraced her like a family.
Yeah.
And then even when the girls were walking down the street, because you remember at the beginning of the movie, they called them witches. They're like, witches, you know. Which was funny because at the time they weren't.
Yes.
But at the ending, they actually were witches at the ending of the movie. And then I liked how they kind of got them back for the witch calling.
Yes.
They had all the birds basically shit on them.
Yes, that was interesting. And I liked it too. And you know, in the beginning when they were on that same road and they did say witches, witches, and then the carriage passed and they saw each other, they said, I don't like this town. Now, the same part that happened at the end of the movie, they're like, yeah, we're going to change this town just like we changed everything else.
Yeah, no. It was funny, that whole little, because like at the beginning of the movie, neither of them really liked the town or wanted to be there.
Yes.
Then they go to the school. Then Agatha doesn't want to be in the school, but return to the town because of her mother.
Yes.
Sophia doesn't even want to be in the town. And then by the end of the movie, both of like Sophie was the first one to go through the portal back to her hometown. So the woman who wanted out the most was the first one to be like, hey. And then Agatha, you know, Caesar makes the choice to follow her through the portal back to her hometown. I like kind of where they did the ending where you had the arrow and the knife come through.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And it's like, I didn't understand the knife thing. I understood the arrow thing.
And I believe there's actually supposed to be a part 2 coming out.
Which would definitely explain that
knife
ending.
And the arrow. Yes.
Like I said, I understood the arrow. I just didn't understand the knife because after the arrow hit the tree, then the knife hit the tree. It's like, where the fuck did the knife come from? Like, what, you know?
Yes, exactly right. But yes, I just looked it up, and I do believe that there is going to be a School for Good and Evil 2 coming out later this year.
Hopefully
we definitely have to talk about that one too. So we'll have to see if it's as good as the first one.
Yeah, they definitely have to tell me where the knife came from. I understand where the knife, and because the only person who had a knife, if I think about it, was
Raphael.
Raphael.
Yes.
Are you telling me that Raphael didn't die when he got cut through by Excalibur?
You see, it can go both ways. You can sit there and say, okay, so good would be Tedros. He threw the arrow, and then evil could be one of the other students, could be as well.
True.
So I don't know. It would be interesting to see, but yes, I would love to be able for them to explain the knife.
But I definitely didn't like Tedros.
Why not?
Like, I don't know. Like,
yes, he was an asshole in the beginning because I believe it's because, you know, whose son he was.
Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, he was definitely a show off because, like, his character is the son of Prince Arthur, and all the people here are essentially storytell people, you know, fairy tale people.
Yes, but Agatha puts him in his place.
Yeah,
and towards the end, he becomes, for me, a little bit more likable because of the fact that he toned down his attitude quite a bit.
No, that just means we can be in the same room. It doesn't mean I like it.
I hear you.
Matter of fact, when he got punched by Agatha, I was very happy.
Gotcha. There you go.
I was like, do it again. What, only once? Pop him again.
Oh, I get you. I got it.
She needed to go like WMMA on his ass for me to be happy.
She does have a nice right hook.
She lit him up.
Yeah, she did.
Especially the show off at the beginning of the movie. Like, he couldn't just walk into the room. He had to like fight everybody in the room just to prove that he could.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, everybody was good. They fit their roles. Like, it was a good story. It was a really good story.
interesting how many A-listers they had in that movie as well.
Yeah, they had quite a. The budget on this movie is like $100 million.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's considered I think, almost high budget movie.
Yeah.
I think it's anything up to like 5 million is considered low budget.
Okay.
5 to 50 million, I think, is medium budget.
Okay.
I think 50 and above is high budget.
Wow.
And Charlize Theron, you had Matrix.
Kerry Washington, Michelle Yeoh, Lawrence Fishburne. I was like, man, it's like, wow.
You had a lot of good actors and actresses in them.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
I say it's an 8. Like, I thought for a good versus evil movie, it was exciting. There were stakes involved. Like, they had kept escalating it. It wasn't like there was some twist in it that I didn't. Like I said, I would have never guessed Agatha would have been turned out to be the protagonist.
Yeah, that was a good twist. It was. But like I said, kind of predicted a little bit because they were harping so much on her looking and dressing her like she was evil, and Sophie dressing her and looking like she was good. I knew there had to be some kind of twist there, and eventually there was.
Of course.
And now, if I can just predict the lotto numbers like I did the movie, then we should be good to go.
Good luck.
Thanks. But overall, interesting movie. I'm glad you picked it for us to watch.
The dialogue was interesting because it's something that we're doing too on a couple of our screenplays where you have like the older look to it.
Yes.
But with modern dialogue.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I noticed too. It kind of caught me off guard initially because I wasn't expecting it. I was, kind of expecting me, like when she woke up out of the dream and they were talking to her modern day, I actually almost thought it was going to be a modern day movie. She just had a dream where she was a princess. And then, then you start to get into it, you're like, oh no, this is kind of got the old school look to it, but with the modern day. And I think that is good, because the ancient dialects, even like early day British, can be quite difficult, and actually, conveying a good story becomes challenging, especially there's a lot of words and stuff that aren't used in modern day that were used in, say, Shakespeare's time.
Exactly, that people today may not understand. So, yeah, you're right.
And so the simplicity to understand, I think, was a good thing. I just know that it caught me off guard originally because I was like...
It was. But, it worked, though. They totally made it work. So,
we're going to make it in a couple of screenplays where, it's just funny to see it in real life as opposed to something that I am writing right now or, have written. But that's all I got on that one, man.
That's good. I'm glad. I enjoyed it. And I would recommend that people see it. It's pretty good. So I'm going to give it a hells to the yeah.
Is that our chick call now?
That's it. At the end, we're going to say hells to the yeah or hells to the nah. So it's hells to the yeah.
I'll definitely go hells to the yeah. I'm too white to say that.
You're good. You're good. So for next week, we are going to do Trigger Warning, Jessica Alba.
Just because you have a crush on him. And I'm not telling Fulia. What?
Yeah, don't tell Fulia that. I wouldn't say that. I actually like Jessica Alba's movies. And she did a TV show with Gabrielle Union. I forgot the name of it. That was pretty interesting in itself, too. It was based off of, based on the characters of Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll confirm it when we do the podcast next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Of course, buddy.
We'll talk soon.